even though the Rams got Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, and they were going to be the story coming into the season, they have struggled, and it's been that Cowboys defense that has turned some heads. And it really started last year with Micah Parsons and all that he did last year, and Trayvon Diggs leading the NFL in interceptions. But they have gotten, I don't know, arguably better this year. Pete asked a good question off the top here. From looking at the tape of their most recent game against the Rams, are they getting more dominant now due to their talent or the way they're being coached?
It's a good question by Pete. I think when you start to see a defense be this dominant, it's a combination of both, right? That's where I look at it. And listen, they're going to give up some big plays like we saw the Cooper Kupp shallow cross because, they go for the jugular a lot, which is going to create a lot of big plays for them too. But they're looking to really like smother you and make you punt. They want to be like, no, you got 0 yards and now you got to punt the ball. We didn't give you anything. You're 3 and out. Like where some other defenses are like, well, we don't like when you get in this formation. We'll give you the 6-yard completion or whatever. They're like, nope, we're not giving you anything. But I've said this, I think, a few times over the last 2 weeks. Dan Quinn is a guy that deserves major props. He went back to the lab with a pen and a pad and got his damn label off, as Dr. Dre said.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, he changed it. He changed his defense. And we see a lot of the Seattle scheme guys, right? They can't ever break out of the mold. Well, he did. He reevaluated and went, wait, I'm going to be a little different, a little trickier, a little skies more, a little bit like you don't know what you're going to get from me. And then I think when you couple that with the talent they have, that's when you start to go, whoa, nobody seems to be able to do shit against this defense. So it's a little bit of both. The talent, I misevaluated it. It's better than what I thought. I knew they had some good guys at some positions, but I think there's some surprises for me overall. And then his defense, he's even evolved even from last year to where it's even more this year. And that's where I give him a lot of credit.
I wonder if that was out of necessity when he got there too, because that defense was so bad, right? It was in the conversation for worst in the NFL.
That year before he got there, it was.
Oh, that was before he got there.
Yeah, the year before. It was horrible.
He goes there and he's just like, all right, we got to do some different things here. We just can't play, our guys and line up against your guys. And then you get talent along with that, and maybe it was like, well, why don't we keep doing the same things here too, and make it difficult for him. I mentioned the players that stand out, but when you were watching film, 92 kept standing out for you.
You just hit on Barrett Browning, or this would be another guy that I'd go, you need to keep your eye on him to give him some love here. He'd be one of the more underrated Robin Hood superstars of football on defense so far this year.
Dorrance Armstrong,
number 92. Every game I turn on, I go, damn, this guy, he's one of the guys I was just talking about that I misevaluated. I just didn't think he could win one-on-ones as consistently as he does. Yes. I mean, he starts the game off, just whoops the shit out of the left tackle and the left guard. Back-to-back plays, and then, of course, gets the strip sack that allows DeMarcus Lawrence to pick it up and run for a touchdown. But, yeah, he has been phenomenal. And, they're scary when they get into, like, some pass rush situations. When they have, like, him at defensive tackle and DeMarcus Lawrence at defensive tackle and then have Micah Parsons and Dante Fowler on the edge, like, whoa. They're going to win one of those one-on-ones. And then Dan Quinn almost guarantees they're going to be one-on-one a lot of the times because he does something creative, whether it's a guy that blitzes to make the fifth rusher or a guy that kind of fakes that blitz, right, to keep that guy there so they can't go double somebody. He's very good at that. So he is one of those guys that pops. And that's when you get into Dallas, when you go, okay, those 4 guys I just mentioned. You talk about Neville Gallimore, who's an issue at defensive tackle. Tristan Hill's a good backup defensive tackle. The defensive line is phenomenal and deep. They got 2 incredible athletic linebackers and Micah Parsons and Van Der Esch. And then their corners. They got 3 legit, like, you can trust them man-to-man corners. And Anthony Brown, Jordan Lewis, and, of course, Trayvon Diggs. The only part of their defense I look at to go, if they had a safeties there, I'd go, watch out. You wouldn't be able to do anything.
You think the safeties are the weak link?
Safeties are the weak link, but they're not asked to do a whole lot or put in a lot of pressure situations to where they're not going to be dependent on. But, they attack you right now, and it's the talent and the coaching together that combine to make them very, very hard to move the ball against. I mean, Ahmed, you saw some of my notes. I'm sorry. I just had to go off here. I mean, Stafford's dropping back to pass, and he's not even like in the gathering. He's literally getting the ball and going, okay, let me look at the first read. oh my gosh. I mean, it's like, what? I mean, poor Matthew Stafford. He's getting killed.
He got his Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
feel that
Just
bad
kill him
for
now.
I
That's
don't feel
right.
that bad
Look at
for him.
you bitter Detroit fan.
No,
Yeah.
I rooted for him to get the Super Bowl, and
Yeah.
that was it. Now
Now it's
I'm over
over.
it. Now I'm over it. Yeah, you noted in your notes here, they created a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
Blitzing, moving guys around,
Right.
just their speed
Stunts,
and everything.
twists, all those things.
How
Right.
much of that, though, you think for this game specifically? They've done that all year, but
Yeah.
how much of that was a lack of fear in what the Rams can do offensively?
I think that's a big part of it. Definitely that too. You know, they felt good about, hey, as long as we can cover Cooper Kupp, we're really nobody that scares us, right? I know they hit the big play to Tutu Atwell, the post route. That other than that, there's nothing to worry about. And like I said, with those corners, and then I think even with those corners, a few times they were like, so what? Let's put them on an island. Their pass pro will only hold up for like 2 seconds, so who cares if we put them on an island? So I think there was definitely some of that. The Rams they're going to have to do it with smoke and mirrors this year. It's ugly. It's not going to get a whole lot better. You know, but between that defense and the special teams of the Cowboys, man, they attack you. They don't let you off the hook. And then the offense is doing the right things there, and that's where, you know, they're dangerous right now. And it's a real good defense. This weekend will prove to me, I know they're a top 10 defense and probably the most creative turnover type of defense in football that we got. Are they like a they're on the verge though of like, are they a defense like the 2015 Broncos where we're just going to go, whoa, the offense sucks, but the defense scores a touchdown every game, or the 2017 Jacksonville Jaguars where we just go, I don't know how they're doing this. They really don't do much on offense, but their defense gets a strip sack and a touchdown every game, if not one touchdown, and then sets the offense up with a short field every game.
That team was more Blake Bortles.
Yeah,
but still,
exactly. You know where I was going there. I knew you were going to bring that up. But
yeah,
that's to me what I want to see this weekend. Are they that special, or are they just real good and they're going to make plays? And I understand they're real good, but they have a chance to me to be like, whoa, this is a defense that can kind of like win games by themselves a little bit. They've been fortunate to not have to play a complete offense yet.
All right.
And that'll be the first. This will be the first time. So this will be the real big test.
And we get that on NBC,
Woo,
Sunday Night
baby.
Football. Watch the pregame show, Football Night in America with Chris Simms before that. That guy, Oliver, wants to know about that game.
Yeah.
He goes, what's different about Dan Quinn, Falcon head coach, and Dan Quinn, Cowboys DC? You kind of mentioned that.
Yeah.
And if you were Nick Sirianni
Right.
and Shane Steichen,
Right.
how do you attack this revamped scheme of Dallas?
Yeah, this is a game I would certainly say, I mean, and you know this is my one issue with Philly. They leave the run game too often. You know, don't let this group, as you said earlier in the podcast, pin their ears back and go crazy.
Yeah.
And if it gets into a passing game, I don't care how good your offensive line is, you know, they're going to create some mismatches or get home a few times to where the run game and all of that, I think, could calm down Dan Quinn. You know, like I said, when you're stunting and moving and twisting and doing all that, you know, again, the right run call, like, oh, wait, we were stunting this way, and now they're blocking down that way, and now we have a D gap on the outside that's, you know, 15 yards wide. The guy that's there has no chance to win it. That's where they'll have to be a little bit like, whoa, no, you just take your gap, you take your gap. Let's be a little more vanilla. That would be the thing I would look at more than anything. They're still going to do some of that. And because of their corners and how good we just talked about, I think they're going to be a little bit like, yeah, we'll trust our guy here in this situation. We're not going to let you run the read option or, you know, fake the ball and then run out on the edge, right? And then, oh, wait, we have an extra guy there. And now you get to throw the Dallas Goedert out in the flat, and he runs up the sideline for 10 yards, right? Because they have checks. So I think they're going to be able to, because of their talent, play a little man, have a guy on Goddard, you know, and maybe have a guy there for Jalen Hurts too, to where that could be fun. But the run game is to where I look at it for Philly. If they drop back and throw the ball too much, they're going to play right into Dallas's hands.
It's going to be fun to watch.
It is.
Either way, how both teams react to this one.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.